I want to fucking have a really dope Halloween. Everyone, all of us. My name is Jello. Welcome to Utility Room with Fame Diet. Shit. Look at all this crazy gear in front of me right now. This set's gonna be dope. I hope you're ready for some live action.
There's a hum because it's the utility room.
A hum in the utility room. It's part of the aesthetic.
It's part.
It's part.
It's my first utility room, so I'm not sure if you're supposed to have a hum in it, but it seems like it's.
I feel like it's kind of like maybe it's like part of like the elements of it.
It's like the warp core.
It's one of that thing, yeah. Like you've got to deal with a bit of a hum from the warp core if you're gonna be flying on the Enterprise, right?
That's it.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah. Are you ready to fucking kill us right now? Or what?
I mean, yeah. It's Halloween, so that's the appropriate thing to do. Is try and kill someone.
I'm Captain COVID tonight. That's my.
I go with sideshow COVID, Bob. I love the hair though. I love it. It's like you had it long, you had it short. It's been different styles since.
It's never been the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's kill it, man.
Okay.
Hey, Utility Room, Fame Diet.
What's up?
Let's go.
Ooh, let's try it again. Push the buttons. Yeah, so I make music live. That's the deal, and we do it. There we go.
My name is Jello. This is Fame Diet. That was truly special and absolutely spectacular. Wicked times.
Well,
wicked set.
I'm hot now.
Yeah, it
because
is.
this is a boiler room and I'm wearing a sweater.
It's a utility room.
Oh,
That's another team.
Let me do this here.
Doing awesome
Hang on a
stuff.
second. I got it. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we're gonna stay connected. Actually,
We're good.
What do you think? Is this?
I just needed to zip.
Okay, there
I
we
needed
go.
to unzip a
I feel
little.
like I need a little bit of room
Right on.
because in the utility room here, it's a little low. It's a little low. Or maybe my hair is a little high.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, it's low. You're taller than me anyway, so everything's lower or higher to me. But yeah, it's the hair.
So it's a bit of a challenge for everyone at home. I mean, we've got obviously the camera over here that's capturing everything,
Yeah.
and the lights are doing a bit of a zip zap, which is awesome.
Shio, you want to be the cameraman? And,
Yeah,
like,
just
show
just grab that switch if you don't mind. Just right there, there on the wall. Maybe
No,
get,
right there, yeah.
Yeah, boom. Yep, that's good.
There we go.
Hey, let there be light.
Ooh.
It's a little more stable.
Yeah, you come into frame for your little for there, for Instagram.
Woo!
Yeah.
Actually, Instagram's gonna end. We only get an hour, but fortunately for
bummer.
everyone else, we're on all the other networks. Smack the link in the bio to take you there
What?
so you can hear the awesome words we're about to share with each other
Yo.
on this dope Halloween in Utility Room. So listen, let's actually leave that there. If you don't mind, let's take us real quick. What are you rocking over here? What is the setup? Piece by piece, if you don't mind. So we got an Ableton Push 2.
Okay, so I run the entire system from the program Ableton Live. I've got an integrated kind of network of sort of control surfaces that are all redundant. So if one of them goes down, I can still run the whole show from all of them, right? So worst case, I can run it off a push. Okay, whatever, I can run it off one of these iPads, but each of them give me levels of integration in terms of focusing on exactly what I needed to play with, right? So I've got several pages to flip through. And imagine if it was all in one page, I'd have to be like flipping pages crazy, right?
The apps you're using on the touch screen.
Yep, pretty basic stuff. I'm using Lemur.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this setup was kind of jokes because it's like...
Lemur was a hardware, and also,
Yeah.
I mean, software for the hardware, but
Yeah.
I mean, they were their own thing. But now is it moved on to app? Are they still
It's
making?
been yeah, they just bought it's app based now.
Okay.
OS. And basic stuff, just controls, volumes, filters, auxiliary sends, effects and stuff. This one here is just 5 big ass faders.
Okay.
Called a busing system. So I can play with the drums, bass, all the rest of the things. So if I'm listening to a mix and something's crazy, I can go categorically and grab the mid-range stuff or the low-range stuff or the bass or whatever, right? This one here is running an app called Touchable, and Touchable lets me zim through all of the different... I have 81 songs in here that I wrote, and it's all original material. Stuff with people is all just collaborative things with various singer-songwriters from Toronto. Yeah, and all of that's basically being triggered by this mega... It's like, this is just all my songs. I press whatever song. So in the middle of a set, I can jump into one song over here and just grab the hi-hats from it. And then flip over to another song that's got some really cool bass line that works really well with this other one. and that's my mix point, and I can linger there for a while and do all different things.
While you're running all this in your brain, you're aware of what the hats from this one song, that in these 81 songs, you're aware of what that sound is, and you've categorized it in your brain. You're able to mix it live into something else because you're like, I know what that sound is.
Yeah, I mean, you know your own sock drawer, right? You know, where your third pair of underwear that's got the blue Supermans on it, or right? So it's the same thing, right?
Okay.
And yeah, it's like, think of like a turntablist who's got 35 records and they're doing some crazy routine.
Right.
They know what's going on each of those, and they could probably be dynamically switching because they know the ass on one of these purple records with whatever, right? So same idea.
I'm listening to what you were doing. Would you, if you were to slip this into a genre, techno, yes.
Housey.
So is this Detroit?
No, it's this Fame Diet, man. I mean, I think, like, I don't know. I'm influenced by so many things that I'd be like, I'm a wannabe Orbital, right? You know what I mean? One-man Orbital band kind of ish, but not as good.
I find a lot of the elements that you're introducing, organic elements. You had vocals running. I'm assuming these are vocals that were written for the music that you were running.
Yeah.
You've also got a fair deal of horns. I know strings. These are really organic elements. Do you record these elements yourself?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I work with different people. I work with a guy named Peter Mifsud, and he's like this really badass saxophone player and actor dude. We did a whole tour. Because he found me one day through someone, and we're like, hey, you want to go play live house music? And I'm like, dude, I make live house music. I want to play it even better rather than just DJ on top of a saxophone. It's cooler. So he learned all my tracks, and we went out and did this like investors group tour for all these crazy investors group meetings, like 7 o'clock in the morning, playing live house music for 8 minutes while these rich people walked in, sat and had a conference. 3 minutes while they went off for coffee in the middle of and that was our gig, right? So we started jamming hard after that, and I was like, dude, you're wicked. Yeah, let's jam. So he's cool. Some of the vocals, the first few tracks I played, one of them was from a lady I work with named Celine. Monica Paez, that's her name, but she's got a couple different stage names. I think hers, she switched it up too, and when you keep changing names, people like me can't remember your damn name.
Funny that you would say that about changing names.
Right?
Fame Diet is brand new.
Okay, yeah. So it's about a year and a half old now. But I went for the last 27 or so years under DJ Shine, and the only problem with that is now there's like 50 freaking DJs.
Are you gonna be okay here?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's Halloween, so we had to give you a bit of a noose.
I'm going crazy.
Yeah. You murdered people, so we're not trying to kill you in the utility room, though. Just,
So
it's aesthetic.
I put out like 2 records as DJ Shine and a whole bunch of vinyl and stuff, and then like late 90s, early 2000s, and then some other guy named Shine from Korea took my name, and I was like, okay, whatever, you're a K-pop dude. But then I got like Nelly Furtado fame, and I was like, Shine again. So yeah, I got good internet cred. Then there's like a girl from Brazil, and there's some dude from Japan, and there's too many Shines. So I just banged away from that name. But also I work for these crazy pop star people, and half the time I'm doing as a job hitting spacebar and starting their songs, people I tour with. So I go from making incredibly like non-famous music to working for people who have just so much fame they want to run from it, right? And my play on that's being the Fame Diet is just sort of hiding from your fame, or hiding from fame, or hiding from someone else's fame. It's so much fame, I don't want to get away from it.
But this is the furthest thing from hiding. I mean, what we're looking at here is at a scale of 1 to 10, how much of this is really live?
10.
Okay, so this is
other than like some chick not being here because I've recorded her or whatever, and the dude in sax, but 10.
I wanna rewind for a sec, because we were touching on something and then something else happened, and I feel like you and I could be the masters of digression, or at least some of the masters of digression.
I digest.
I have known you for almost a quarter of a century, and
well over that, I think. You don't want to date yourself, but like we met in like the early 90s, like 1993, 94.
No.
Yeah.
No.
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 Yes.
No.
Before that.
I'm here all night.
Okay.
The answer's no. Do you know why? 96 E-Party.
Subterrane? Wasn't that earlier?
No, 1996.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. We're here. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've seen the evolution of you. You are one of the wizards of Toronto, maybe Canada. You've been in front of the decks. You've been on stage And then you've also been on stage, albeit behind the scenes, a bit like the Wizard of Oz, where you are the person behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Except here in this instance, there's a lot to pay attention to. So I find that it's very interesting that you didn't just DJ. You actually took apart the mixer when it wasn't working. You figured out the circuitry. When you were done with the mixer, you went to the sound system. You disassembled the sound system, then reassembled it. You have saved raves on more than a dozen different occasions, not just here in Toronto, but everywhere else. You have saved concerts for major artists, and I want to get there. I'm telling your story from what I know about it. I know that you did this. I know that you went and you got a Yamaha SU 700,
Yo.
which was like a sampler sequencer drum machine, mild synth stuff on it.
You know what? It was kind of like Ableton before the Ableton. It was just this crazy little
super raw, super live. You figured out this machine on the ins and outs of it. You ended up with 2 of these machines. And then I remember, like, it was like, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be DJing. I'm just going to bring out these boxes and I'm going to play this stuff live.
You know what I did, actually, is I made a rule that I would do live 1 year, DJ 1 year, then live 1 year, then DJ 1 year.
But right? That's not how it went.
No, and then I just more and more live, because whatever. And then, other things happen in life, and you step away from one scene, and yeah, like I lived next door to where Nelly Furtado rehearsed.
So hold on for a second. Let's just pause real quick. We're gonna tap the brakes for a sec because I want to. In fact, we'll go there right now. But the reason why I'm saying all that stuff is because your technical prowess ended up somewhere like in the stratosphere. If someone was able to repair something, you could literally look at this person and finish that on the fly. And so because of all this technical ability, not just on a productive level, but also like as in the actual gear, you ended up started getting some attention from some super major people.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first major touring artist, I guess the first pop artist
was Nelly
Furtado.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I lived next door. Okay, so I had a radio show on Chin way back in the day, like 105 or something, 103. And my roommate, we lived next door to a huge sound stage where Nelly rehearsed. And people would come by to visit my roommate every once in a while, and then they'd see my gear and be like, what the hell's that? And then eventually it all started connected. But like 3 years later, those guys from Nelly hunt me down. And they're like, hey, you're the guy, Ableton. Yeah, show us the stuff. Let's go. And then, it was pretty whirlwindy from there because that was right before the Loose album came out. So we went on tour, and I mean, I think we went to 300 different cities just in like
you're doing playback. Yeah. You're doing playback for Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
But also like there'd be some instances of where you guys would show up. I remember this just popped in my timeline I think a week ago or something like that, and it was some crazy gearbox. You were in Russia.
Oh,
and
man.
it was wired in the most dilapidated of ways.
I was so angry. Okay. So Nelly Furtado, Drake, The Weeknd, Lights, Metric, a whole bunch of other bands got me to a point where
you did Drake as well. I didn't know that.
Yeah, early Drake right in the beginning. So all these people, I came in and I just like as a consultant, I get hired to build their world and teach them. And I was pretty committed to Nelly, so I just would do the side gigs of just setting people up and then sort of maintain them, but like teach someone to be the dude, right, or person. And it was sort of a thing. And then it got me to a point where like I get weird phone calls like. Hey, can you come to Manila tomorrow? There's a band called Passion Pit, and they got a problem with their playback rig. Can you go help them? Okay, cool. So you fly to Manila, and you meet a bunch of people, and you find out that the band Passion Pit is actually the same band that plays for Childish Gambino, and they need you for this crazy project. So let's go do some surround sound.
So you went to Los Angeles, and you're rocking with Childish Gambino.
Yeah, okay. We did a whole it was pretty intense. It was
Were you there around the time that This Is America was released?
No, way before. It was right before Encourage My Love came out, but like 6 months before that, there was a private show in the middle of the desert called Pharos, Pharos, Pharos. It was like a 5-show thing. It was. I'm imagining an inflatable dome for 5,000 people, and you projection map the entire dome with virtual reality, and then you put that to music. and then I'm running all of the tracks that went for the stage, but then also we designed a surround sound atmospheric thing, which was just nuts. It was like 5.1 surround sound tour. Like I've been doing surround sound for like performance with that forever. And the problem is like you can't go to a nightclub and DJ in surround sound because everyone's putting out stereo tracks still, right? We're almost there. I give it like another 5-10 years before people are bored of that, and we have to get to a new world, or we're going to be in this nightmare right now. Oh God, it's horrible. I'm going crazy.
No, you're absolutely stunning. Tonight was a special performance. We all loved it. I feel like so listen. So after LA, so you rock with Childish Gambino. You hang out with him. How did Frank Ocean start up?
Okay, well, this is 7 years ago. I met Frank's guy. So it was like 2013. I started working with Frank because a person I worked with on Nelly's tour was like, "Hey, you know a guy in LA that does Ableton?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this dude I work with on Drake. He's pretty cool, Matt Davis." So I hooked them up, and then like 6 months later, they're like, "Hey, can you just come do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, can you come tomorrow?" No. I can come the day after tomorrow. And you know what sucked? It was right before Father's Day, and my kid's here right now, and I feel so bad because like I was on the phone and he was at the airport and he was saying, "Daddy, don't go. Daddy, don't go." And I was dying. And then like 2 days later, I'm in LA or whatever, and went and saw the new Superman movie with like Kevin Costner at the time, and he's like, "This is a whole father stuff." But anyways.
Oh, you're saying the scene with the
where he dies
and his dad
and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So, anyways, long story short, I ended up quitting Frank Ocean's band.
I got to pause
3
you.
times.
Are you a Zack Snyder fan?
Really? Sure. I don't know.
Are you not stoked for the unedited Justice League?
There's not much more you can do to that.
I'm nerding out for a sec. I had to because you touched it. So okay. Anyways.
I think I'm Team Marvel more than I like the Wonder Woman scenario. Stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
So hold on. So you said you
that was the only one I had a good movie story.
You quit Frank's band?
I quit him internally, like 3 or 4 times. I was definitely like.
But you didn't. That's why I'm like, you didn't quit. You're still.
This is like in week 1, 7 years ago, right? And
was it stress from the gig? Was it stress from family
everything,
life?
Everything, and it was just like, oh my God, and I had been in family style touring situations where like Nelly for 12 years, you know what I mean, right? Like I was like. Deep in that world, right? We've almost died together 3 times, like literally, like plane crash, riot in Moscow, freaking lightning hit the stage on our tour in Poland, you know what I mean? So you get into that tight group of people, and all of a sudden you're just the Canadian dude in LA, totally different scene, and it's what do you got? Show us your shit, and then you hold it down, whatever. I got to a point with Frank where I was like watching things that were happening maybe in the background that I don't even think he was aware of, and it sort of came to head at a time where we had to. It was a situation that needed to change all the way around. And it was the first time I've ever seen kind of like, stuff that was not being taken care of suddenly just be taken care of. And Frank just really jumped in there and like took care of business that needed to be taken care of kind of scenario. And I can't.
So
really
you developed a really strong relationship with Frank.
In a way, yeah. I've also learned to stay the fuck out of your business. Do your job really good and just that's it. So I'm like not on speed dial with Frank, but like every 3-4 years I get a call and we're like, project, let's go, right? And he keeps that tight crew. There's people he doesn't want to fuck with getting to know some new dude. He's like, you're my people, you haven't fucked up yet, let's go.
Creating a family that is of everyone and
but then you also know
proper
you
team
get
players.
A vibe, you know what I mean? Like with everyone, it's like, I don't need to know your life story and share it just to do this job. So let's do that. And whatever. If you want to shoot the shit one day, that's cool. But you're hiring me to do this job, right? As much as it's like, oh, caviar and crap and all that other stuff. It's like, I show up, I do this. I make sure your show goes good. I talk you through the points that need to be. There's times there's like dynamics where it's like, hey, we've had situations where like the microphone died on stage in the middle of something. And we had to figure out how to not fuck it up live, and I just took over. I was like, all right, guys, listen, I'm looping this. Stay here. Everyone, Mike's coming. He's on his way. Hold on. Cool. Come back. And I'm able to sync and drop the playback tracks in time like a DJ would scratch and jump 8 bars or linger in the chorus for a while, loop it, and then when everyone's good, all right, boom, here's the next verse, and they all take up.
And this
you would never know this happily. Yeah.
Right, so they're watching this action. Everyone's like, fucking wizard.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of the job, right? It's like being a safety net. So, anyways.
When did you find the time in all of that to put together the 81 tracks?
This Ableton show, I have been adding to since 2006.
So you're on the same interface that you've been rocking for that
It's
long.
evolved, right?
Okay.
But the basic database of songs, I probably put about 30 in there back then, and then I've added like 5, 10 a year, give or take. The good ones, you know what I mean? You make a bunch of songs, but like which ones are actually kind of heaters, you know, is like... And then you get bored of playing them all, so you start figuring out ways that you can play different versions of them or mega mix them live on, you know, and sort of, you know, it sucks because if you don't play it for a while, you lose all the little ideas. And then when you start playing it again, it's like, oh, it's new music. Or I added 2 or 3 new songs. All of a sudden, that's like 9 or 10 different combinations. I can just steal the drums from this. I'll play new drums on a song I've made 10 years ago. So it's got a dated sound back then, but I can rock the new style, you know what I mean, or whatever, and then incorporate. This is kind of the most chillest of the setup.
You mean as far as the amount of gear that's in front of us?
Yeah, it looks like a crazy amount of gear, but basically it's like it just ends up fitting in a knapsack. So I just glued it to a board, so it's like a...
Like how old is this rolling piece that's in front of us?
It's pretty current actually.
Not that one.
Oh.
The silver
Same
piece.
thing. These are the earlier, you know, the clones of the TB303 they released, but they're pretty decent. They run off USB. They got a sound, adds a little element to it. I've been focusing on making live visuals and interactive VR as well. After that Gambino thing a few years ago, that was like 2016. So I taught myself virtual reality programming and then ways to interconnect each individual track of Ableton into that. So I'm able to create a virtual world and then be the puppeteer by my performance on every layer, kind of. And it's hard to do because there's too many hats. You can't wear all those hats and do it. Like, I've tried to go out and play live and do live visuals and play sound, and it's too many brains to juggle.
What are you thinking about Elon's neural link?
Yes.
Okay,
oh my God.
Are you subscribing? Or
Yeah.
You're getting involved? And then what? And then what for you?
Then I'll just lie in a puddle of my own drool, and you guys call it a live show, right? You know, that's the whole point.
Would take us now. I want to flip all the way back. Raving. Did you know that from the dance floor that this would be something that, you know, did you look at the turntable and go, like, how do the magnets work on that? Were you at home before raving and taking apart a speak and spell?
Literally started that way. But my trajectory into electronic music was I started learning DJing and music production at the same time. I think I actually learned music production before DJing.
So then what were you on first? Was it Fruity Loops?
No, Cubase.
Okay.
Black and white on a Mac in 1993. Like, old computer stuff, right? And
But you don't touch Cubase at all now.
I touched it for 15 years.
You're a certified Ableton instructor.
Certified trainer, yeah.
Okay.
Ableton certified trainer, yeah. It's kind of a select crowd. There's about 280 of us on Earth right now. So there's only a couple in each country. They try and spread them out rather than other companies, like they'll do certification programs, like thousands of people who are Logic certified and blah 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 blah. They keep the Ableton ones pretty tight as kind of like cool little brand ambassadors and testers and stuff. So
when did you start teaching?
I started teaching. I would say 95, 96.
So 3 years after you pick up Cubase, you're like, I'm ready to go and start giving some lessons.
Yeah, you know, just whatever. I mean, what I ended up doing was like, I think by 99, I was doing that a lot more, and I would hang with like the people in the club scene. I would teach the bar owners who wanted to learn production, and then that would be my way to get in.
You mean for lights and sound?
For production, no, like making music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bar owners making music.
Yeah, like those guys from the living room or whatever, right?
Okay.
Right? Yeah, all this other stuff, right?
Okay.
So different people here and there would book me for this, and then someone approached me and said, do you want to do a school? So we started a school called Studio Hideaway in like 1999, 2000. Ran for a bit. DJ, music production school. And then like one of my older students hired me to run a school, so we did a whole more like a boutique kind of mentorship program thing. Still teaching Cubase at the time, and then he's like, dude, you gotta check out this Ableton thing. That was like 2002, And by late 2002, I was touring Europe with Ableton, playing live, doing all this stuff. And, it's been Ableton since. Pretty heavy.
It's wild. I saw that. It was it's a
fuzz bucket.
It's a visitor.
Yeah.
I think it came. That's our Pence moment.
Or that's one of those. Yeah, I know. It's just like.
Yeah. Okay, that would have been key. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
I wanna understand. What would you feel would be like the ideal gig as just for you? I mean, is the ideal gig as Fame Diet? Is it Jason Spanu? Is it up on stage? Being the wizard. Behind the curtain. Are you on stage with Frank? Are you? What is? If you had that moment, and you could pick a venue, what would it be?
Well, at this point, I like the fact that one day I'm performing with Glass Tiger in a couple weeks, right? And then the next week I'm running the Junos playback, and then I'm doing the Much Music Awards, and I'm doing We Day. I've been We Day paid my bills for the last 3 years, just touring around doing all these events, playing back. But then I get bored of that, and I'm like, all right, Frank, cool, let's do Frank stuff, because that stuff's wicked, man. Like, stuff we have for Coachella.
Because of this menu and the ever-changing variety that you're in, you're constantly in the creative space. Does this mean that every gig is then the ideal gig?
Kinda.
That's amazing.
Any gig that pays is the ideal gig. But no. Anything that pays your soul.
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, take all the remuneration away.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking. Like, is there something that keeps you up at night with excitement that you're like, oh, fuck,
yeah,
I'm doing this tomorrow. And then you can't really sleep right. I mean, for me, I think to myself, when a really awesome show's coming up that I'm stoked for, I'm not sleeping the night before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is bonus. I show up, I look like I'm parted out of my face, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're rocking." I'm like, yeah, I'm rocking. I haven't slept in 26 hours, but I'm gonna kill it here.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I'm wondering is there something that you think about?
I like teaching. I teach at the Harris Institute. I run the Ableton course there, and I teach for a school in Calgary called the Beat Drop, and we do a whole kids course that Alberta school. All the students are in the UK or Australia or Alaska, and it's such a weird thing. But for months, these 12, 13, 14-year-old kids are making techno that I swear to God, you listen to, you wouldn't know it was a kid. You'd be like, what in the is going on right now? Okay, this is one
We're
kid.
on the internet, you can say fuck.
Yeah, what in the is going on right now? Yeah, because it's about kids. I don't talk about kids.
Right, okay. No, I understand. Oh, you mean, that's me too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I feel like I step out of the house and I lose dad mode.
That's cool. I know. I lose dad mode. I think we just started dropping the F-bombs at a certain point there. No, I mean, I like teaching. It's fun. I like playing, performing. This is my soul. I like doing this. I would like to do it more in front of people, but it's not the be-all, end-all of it. You know what I mean? My fucked up shit-o-meter is broken. I've done so many things already that I could never perform again and be fine. I could never cross the street and go on tour again and be fine. I cannot begin to tell you how many fucking shows I've played. I'm good.
I want to know if you're in a place where you find yourself that you're absolutely stuck. Have you gotten stuck where you've had to look at somebody and say, I can't fix this?
Yeah. But then you're like, shit, that person doesn't care. You got to be the one who fixes it. So you figure it out.
Wow.
Or you go, listen, that is not going to happen, right? And you figure out a way around it. And I mean, dude, going back to the Russia conversation, I spent 3 months touring Russia with a band called Tokyo Hotel in 2015. And they suck. No, the whole thing sucked. But Russia, beautiful country, sucks. Okay, it just sucks. It's just it's an amazing country.
What was it that's making you feel that way?
Sucks. You get a feeling sometimes you go to the States and you get that feeling hey, this is not Kansas anymore. This is Kansas, but this is not my Kansas, right? When you're in Russia, you're like, and I might die tomorrow. I don't know. Just don't talk to the wrong people.
So you felt like when you're there was a
little more spooky,
a little safety concern.
Yeah. Anyways, but also everything's different. You go to places and there's no toilet seats, and you're like, guys, it's no toilet seats. How are you gonna poop? Oh, it's discouraged to poop in the toilet. Don't do that. And it's like, All right, cool. And they don't have a Parmesan cheese. And they put dill on everything. And it's those little things that you're like, after 3 months, you're ready to kill someone. But at the beginning of that tour, my job for this band was running 6 MacBook Pros, right? Ableton for the playback stuff, and we ran like a bunch of other like virtual keyboard setups for all the on-stage stuff and redundancies for each. So it was like 3 rigs times 2, right? And I had trained on it in Mexico a couple months earlier because I was filling in for someone who wanted to bail for the last leg of a really long world tour, right? So Russia was like 70 dates in like 3 months. Like we went crazy, right? Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was like a lot of shows, man. We did a crazy amount of shows. We were like, it was nuts.
Was this all in the same time zone?
No, Russia is big.
So are you affected by jet lag while you're skipping?
Oh yeah.
So then
food. And I almost died. I had like the most crazy like pre-COVID like 5 years ago that I was bleeding from everywhere. I was like done. I was done.
Bleeding.
I was done. So yeah.
And what are the other perils of being on the road besides catching random pre-COVID COVID?
Sleep deprivation is a really big one, and not having enough vitamin D. Definitely, no one really puts together how many airplane flights, what that does to your body.
You mean like as far as radiation?
Radiation,
okay.
Right? And if you talk to stewardesses, they're all like, yeah. Every stewardess has weird, flight attendants, people that have mid-range cancers. All these long-haul flights are at night, right? Where there's less, because you're above the atmosphere, the sun doesn't, whatever. It's a crazy thing. So definitely, like, talk about that at some point as a whole other conversation. But
I mean, I find it interesting. It's kind of
food. Oh my God, food, right? You cannot eat, right? You can't. You can't.
I've toured. I know exactly the perils and pitfalls of McDonald's. I want to know. Then, this is love.
Yeah, it's also good money too, right? When you get to that like pop star stuff, they pay, so you can work a couple months and it'll pay your year. If you think about it.
Saying pop stars compared to rave.
Yeah. Playing, it's.
Which is more, not.
No.
Okay.
Non-lucrative. But I mean, like when you're in the pop world and you get paid what a rave DJ would get paid for an average night, every single day for a week. Like, yeah, unless you're like fully raving it up. My job is to sit around and wait for someone to need me to hit the space bar, and know how to fix all the dumb shit. But the rest of the time, it's like killing 18 hours.
It's really funny to hear you describe it because what for you might label as for everyone else they're pulling their hair out. So I guess maybe one of my last questions here for tonight with you is do you ever feel like when someone's coming up to you that you're like in some type of like strange time paradox where you're like, you see the person coming at you, you know that the problem is coming towards you. You understand that, like, you almost see it. Do you have like the Emperor's March thing happening in your head, like the theme song? It's coming. And you're like, okay.
I enjoyed the challenge of trying to problem solve something, but it better be easy.
But that's never the scenario.
I enjoy a challenge if it's easy.
So then this is love.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time it's not that hard. I mean, you do all the work on the front end, and then like all the work for this show, like I make it look easy because I've made it look easy because I've easified it. I've got the easy button everywhere on this.
But that's just it, isn't it? Is that if you were to go and ask anybody right now, do you wanna take a job and strictly solve challenge problems day in, day out? I'm gonna assume that most people would say no. And I mean, the reason why these challenges aren't so challenging for you is because you did take all this stuff apart.
There's still new challenges, though, right? There's always new challenges, new softwares, new updates and all this stuff. But it's a thing.
I loved having you with us tonight.
Thanks, man. Cheers. We'll do the microphone. Cheers. Yeah, awesome. Drink our beers. We had beers.
I've done it already.
I didn't even drink my beer.
Listen, before we sign off for tonight and let everyone get off into their awesome, happy Halloween, is there anything that you want to leave people with? Coordinates, a Spotify, a place they can hop to and rock to so they can find you and love you online?
My website is famediet.live. And I've got a Discord server. What's that? Oh, I have a YouTube channel too, Fame Diet. Yeah, there's not much there yet, but there'll be some cool stuff. Yeah, we got that. But it's basically famediet.live is kind of a central website where I put all the links to all my other hosted things. So, you're not going to see a lot of info because Fame Diet. You want to hide from the fame, right? So it's just you see the shows. I put out records, but I'm lazy.
It's not even little. It's mega ironic.
Yeah,
right.
That's the whole play on everything.
Which was your intention.
That's it.
With me by my side was the ever-incredible Mr. Jason Spanu, also known as Fame Diet. My name is Jello. You've been with us here this happy Halloween in the utility room. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. Have yourselves an awesome night. Stay safe and happy.